Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
I'm Jason DeRoss.
Okay, we are here. We have an amazing guest. Let's just jump into it and introduce him. He is truly a treasure among treasures, one of the most talented performers I've ever seen. You can catch him on Bit Playas, writer, creator, star of, making Jason giggle like a little girl, which is just adorable. It's already started. Let's just give it up for the one and the only Kris Siddiqi.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi, friend.
How are you?
Dude, I'm great, man. What an entrance. I'm a big fan of big entrances. I just want to, not to brag or anything, but I killed that entrance.
You killed it. I think you undoubtedly have the best entrance we've ever seen.
Well, it's time for Nigel and Baker to up their game.
It really is. The Friday has forever changed, and people are already into the entrance. You're getting it in the chat. People are loving it and having it.
And your wife loves you. Your wife is in the chat. I love my husband.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
my wife,
nice.
Ever since she was kicked off TV,
Oh,
she's had a new focus now. So,
that's
it's not
amazing.
just her anymore. She has to come back to reality. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, never. I don't want her to ever.
Ever since she got canceled.
As if Aurora from the amazing Baroness Von Sketch Show, which truly my friends who aren't in comedy just like are so blown away, which I am too. Like we just get so like just nervous around those women because they really make us all feel so seen.
I know it's really weird when people get nervous around her.
But it makes sense. But you get to like you get to say I love you and she can say I love you back and she means it instead of us going we love you and she's like we love you I love you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Kris,
I have this stand-up joke where I try and introduce her. I go, my wife is you guys might know her from a comedy show with three other older women. It's called The Golden Girls. Yeah.
she must love that.
Oh, she loves it, man.
Oh,
She loves it.
I have to say, Jan is loving your look, and I am too. Very summer, very now, very hat, very cottage.
Yeah, this is a hat from my dead mother-in-law.
Oh my god!
And she doesn't wear it anymore, so I figure, you know what? It looks great.
Terrible.
Hide this COVID hair.
You know,
It's great.
To be morbid a little second longer, the funniest memory I have of my aunt is my great aunt had passed and she had lived a very beautiful long life, and we were at her visitation and my aunt was just giving out her costume jewelry at in a box near the casket, and I went let's move it away a little bit. Yeah, but she was giving.
But also
away.
in the back of your mind, were you like, ooh, I could write this sketch about this necklace,
Oh.
and ooh, this could be this character.
Instantly, it was instantly in the phone. Instantly in the phone.
When my great aunt died, it was sad because her favorite animal at the zoo had died just recently. It was the monorail.
Oh my God.
That's not a joke. We told her the monorail died. She's like, "Oh God, that was my favorite animal."
Okay, Jason's in a mood today. We can tell.
I love
That's
this
how Stacey
movie.
starts everyone. It doesn't matter what I say. It's a mood. We just don't know what mood it is.
By the end of the show, we'll figure it out. But right now,
Yes.
sink into it, baby.
Sink in.
About that mood ring, I'm finding what color I'm at today.
Well, Kris, I don't know if you know this or Jason has shared it, but we were doing a fitness challenge, and Jason has
Yes, I remember that.
completed it finally. So I just wanted to know how it went, Jay.
This is big news, right? Because like 30 days, champagne popping. I finished the thing. So I don't know if you saw Kris, but so Stacey on our Instagram and on the show on Wednesday, she put up like her results, which is like, as some lady at a festival for us would say, very brave.
To give context,
truth is-
Jason and I did a sketch at a woman. There was before us. There was a very awesome, but it was like a lesbian film, queer film, two women, and she was like, "It's beautiful." It was very like they were naked. She was like, "This was incredible, such a great film." And then we had it right
where we were in our underwear.
a sketch after this very beautiful film, and she goes, "You two are so brave." We were like, "Why?"
She got beautiful and we got brave.
Brave.
You know what? That's something that you tell somebody after you see their show, and you're like, "Oh, what should I say to them?"
Brave.
How brave of you two.
Brave. Oh,
When Rick at the office does stand up for the first time. he
Brave.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
God.
so brave, pal.
Rick.
Yeah, I didn't know that about women. Okay.
Yeah. It sounded great.
That was incredible, Rick. Oh. So Jason, how did it go?
So Stacey put out pictures, and you could see the transformation from we saw a beautiful caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. And I was pissed because I was like, I'm taking pictures that are before and afters, but if I shuffled them up, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But then I took a picture of my final one yesterday, and I was like, well, maybe a bit of a difference. This is great.
Oh, yeah?
This is great.
So Stacey has the pictures of my progress.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, that's what the secret. Jason made it a fucking PDF.
I don't know how else you want me to send it to you.
Just as a picture.
I mean, that's only a few kilobytes, Stace. I mean, if you sent them as JPEGs, it would have been way.
Yeah, it would have been big.
Yeah.
Wait, did
And
you?
that's not what he wants. He doesn't want to be big anymore.
I know what you want. You want me to make like you go on Canva or like make an Instagram post about it or something. But I was like, I'll send it to you because we'll show it here, and I don't know how to put it in the screen.
Well, I'll put it in the screen. I'm just downloading it right now. But
I will say,
Downloading a PDF that should take 2 seconds.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, Chris, what
It
were you
was very inspiring to watch because Stacey, I would watch your Instagram stories of you just pouring sweat after all this thing, and I was like, man, I got to start doing this.
But
Wait, are you not following me on Instagram? What's going on here?
No, he's
I was
just
pouring
following-
sweat too.
Yeah, no, I was, but
no, my
you
stuff's
just couldn't tell.
engaging. It's engaging.
You hold your sweat very well, Jay.
Mine is, it's just when you live alone, you have to reach out for some sort of community. Where I was like, I'm dying alone.
I don't know. It's the same when you got a 4-year-old kid and you're like, anybody want to talk about something other than,
Yeah.
Lego?
Cartoons and poo? Yeah.
But you love talking
Although
about
when I
cartoons
sweat,
and
my
poo.
rosacea turns on like Rudolph's. My rosacea goes on like Rudolph's nose or something when I start sweating. It just goes. Boo. It's a beacon.
Yeah.
Like if I was ever on a deserted island lost and a plane was going by, I would just start running really fast so my cheeks would go over here.
And they'd be like, there he is.
So how have
I'll
you
tell
been?
I started.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I started doing my own fitness challenge.
What are you doing? Tell us.
Okay, so this is a big.
This is from a guy who's already
combo.
fit.
I'm doing. I don't know if you guys have a Nintendo Switch.
No.
I don't.
But I have a
wait,
Nintendo Switch, and there's this thing called the Ring Fit. Okay.
Okay.
And you put one of the controllers on your left thigh, and one of the controllers on this like squeezable ring, like this Pilates ring, and you play an adventure game while working out.
No way.
And it has to do like squats, and it has to do like crunches and stuff, and
I feel like this is how Laura Croft plays video games. Like as soon as you said put something on your hip, I'm like, oh, this is sort of like Indiana Jones or something.
okay, yeah.
I mean, sure.
Never mind.
Okay.
Hey, flip this guy, man. But I'll tell you, I've been doing it for 2 weeks now, and I am feeling great.
Are
I'm
you?
sweating my nards off, man. Do
Some-
it every day for like 20 to 25 minutes.
You just have to sweat the nards. You have to sweat them off. It feels so good.
I know, man. And then I'm like, Aurora's like, wow, you're full of energy today. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it's because I worked out and I didn't sit my chubby ass and just do nothing.
It's true.
But it's the combo of working out and video games. I was like, if I can do both at the same time, then I will.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my one problem because we're going through a pandemic. So it's like now I have energy, but before I'd just be like, oh God, but like now we're trapped inside. So I'm like, it's like when you see like a science diagram of a little ion going like just bouncing off all the walls. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I gotta do something. Oh, I can't get outside. I can't do anything. This is crazy. Oh my God. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and then you turn into a roid rage and just like,
We're all doing roids, right?
Oh.
yeah, that's the cure for COVID, right? It's just
Roids.
Yeah.
Roid it out. Oh, yeah.
the roid.
Jason, I have all your photos set up, so I want you to send it to us in the chat as well so Chris can load it up because I don't know if we'll be all able to see it in this stream because we're not all seeing the same thing. But when you're ready to show it, I'm ready to see it. Anyways, but
So you want me to send it to Chris in the chat?
yeah, so then Chris can see it and we can all just like
I'm just trying to
unpack
figure
it
out,
together. You just put it as a photo in the chat. figure.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's
doing
like
it.
explaining your dad to like the internet. I was trying to tell my dad to watch something on Netflix I thought he'd enjoy, and then I just gave up and I went, just kind of stick with what you're doing. I can't.
Yeah, Dad, forget about it.
Where do I go search it? Where is this? I was like, I don't. It's fine. It's okay. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's fine. So
It's
Chris,
there in the chat.
okay. So can you see it, everyone? I'm gonna show it, and we can all celebrate Jason's. Whoa, Jameson in the chat says he has a pal doing virtual boxing in a video game.
Sick.
Get out of here.
I want to do that.
You know that Mike Tyson's going to fight again, right? And he's like almost 60.
Oh my God.
Really? Is that a joke?
Yeah.
Or is he actually gonna do that?
No, and he's fighting a guy named Roy Jones Jr. I'm like Roy Jones Jr. was also like top of the game for a long time.
Really?
So it's two old guys going to box the hell out of each other. Like someone's going to die.
Jeez.
That's wicked. I hope they do. I hope two old men just die in the ring.
Wouldn't that be so?
fight.
Well, speaking of, I remember an old sketch that Chris put up of like two old people doing Mortal Kombat. Didn't we put that up on People at one
Yeah,
point?
it's on People. It was, yeah.
Great.
That was unbelievable, that sketch. So good.
That was one of those stupid things where you think of an idea and you do it and it works. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh no, totally.
That was
Totally.
that was whole Steve Jobs documentary right there.
Yeah.
So,
You know, you think something and you do it,
And then it worked.
well, the worst is when
hey,
you.
this is a transformation.
I know.
bro.
So
Oh,
ready?
You can see it.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
This is Jason's
But
transformation.
it's a transformation because the first one looks like the guy that's standing beside a campfire being like, who wants to stay up?
And the last one looks like a guy who's like, no, we should go to bed early, guys.
Yeah, he says that for about 3 seconds and he goes, well, I mean, it's not too late.
I think.
He
I
goes,
think.
all right, pass me one of those Miller Lights.
I think my favorite photo is July 14th, where you look so fucking
I'm so
over
pissed
it.
because I'm like, great, it's been a week. It's been a week and there's no difference.
The difference is huge, Jay.
Only in the last one. The rest of them are all pretty much like,
No,
let's
they're
party.
Jason, did you
The
work out?
last one, all three of them from July 8th to 21st, they're all let's party. The last one is like, guys, let's party. I'm only having one drink and going to bed early.
Imagine these four guys in a room together.
Oh, that's great. They'd all be like, hey, man, you working out? Yeah, bro.
It's day by
Dude,
day,
you look
brother.
Like this, man.
Day by
I'm
day.
always week one.
Yo, my belly button's actually facing forward now, dude. Come on. Nice, sick, bro, sick.
My favorite
Week
is
one. Anyone want a lasagna or like?
Haley in the chat says it's let's party to party's over. It's wild. I will say
You
though,
guys watch this show called Alone?
no, what is this?
No.
Okay, so this is one of those reality TV shows where they take 10 guys, 10 people, and they put them in like some crazy wilderness, and they can only have 10 items with them,
Right.
and they have to survive, see who survives the longest.
Whoa.
So the
That's
first,
awesome.
yeah, Dan Gallia told me about. Also, Dan Gallia is just a treasure trove of amazing television.
He absolutely
Okay.
is. Mm-hmm.
So the first and foremost, if you guys want to be endlessly inspired and realize how shitty your life is, watch this show because it's
Really?
so insanely inspiring. But it's also crazy to watch these guys who have gone like 57 days in the wilderness and how rail thin they get.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do they what do they bring? What's a standout item that they bring?
Tarps. Everyone's got a tarp.
Oh,
Big
you
time
got it.
tarps.
You got to bring a tarp.
Yeah, tarps. One dude brought like a real fishing line.
That's smart.
These are all people that are smart. Like, I don't know what I would bring. My 10 items, I would get there and be like, oh, fuck, I forgot a tarp.
I know, man. Mine would be like,
You brought a
"Hey,
knife?
I got to bring an iPhone charger.
Yeah.
Anyways, I brought these 10 albums.
I brought these 10 Dave Matthews Band albums. Dude, it's the woods, man.
But then he makes a beautiful mixtape and it like actually works out. It's like so perfect.
Also,
Yeah,
how
he's
do
out
you
there
make
for
a mixtape
90
with no
days.
albums?
When I went tree planting, and this was like back when I was in university and like before iPods and stuff. So I had to bring like a Walkman, and I just made a bunch of mixed CDs, but I was really stupid where I didn't write down any of the artists and stuff. So I was just like, I'll just be surprised in the woods. But you know, sometimes you just want a certain playlist, and I really screwed myself up for planting those trees with my Walkman.
Blank discs.
No, I made a bunch of I brought a bunch of blank CDs. I made a bunch of mixed CDs for myself, and it was clear I hated myself because it was terrible choices of music.
Chase, give us a taste of what was on those
Sure.
CDs.
Okay.
Fiona Apple.
Oh, Fiona Apple for sure. Okay, so this is University, Stacey. So, but the problem was like a good mixtape, as you all, I mean, you guys are way better at music than I am, but like you can't
Kris
have.
Siddiqui actually is the music man.
I know.
If you're at a party, he's like, let me throw this
The
on.
best.
And then you're like, nice.
So you can't put like a Britney Spears like hot and heavy track with like a Dave Matthews like stay or leave. You know, it's just we're really all over the place emotionally.
You call it the roller coaster CD, and you're good, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm up and I'm down.
I was on LimeWire like a maniac, just getting those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Kazam.
LimeWire and Napster, remember those things? And then you could get like crazy mashups of everything, or like you could hear somebody's like car alarm in the background. Sometimes you're like, why do I have a song in the background? It's just going beep, beep.
Yeah.
Beep.
Remember being at a point where you're like, oh man, this Goo Goo Dolls song, if I let it start downloading tonight, it'll be done in the morning and I can listen to Baby's Black Balloon all day.
It's
That was
so
it for me.
true.
It was like Goo Goo Dolls. There was a few, there was a few. I'm trying to think what else, like what other dumb random mix.
Oh, I was really into like I would get into weird like movie things like So I Married an Axe Murderer, like Mike Myers does slam poetry, and I had that downloaded like a psycho. Who was I? Yeah, loved those.
Like
I remember that. Woman.
Yep.
Whoa,
man.
man.
Oh man. It's so I was a loser. I was like,
what are you talking about? I just said the line from the movie, man.
yeah, but when you're like 13 in Alliston, Ontario, jamming out, going, why won't anyone kiss me? The answer's in the Walkman. Like, you're
The answer's right here, man.
just shaking it, you know, going, okay.
What do you think that cool guy was listening to in his Walkman that was like, I'll kiss you because my girlfriend won't care?
Oh.
Dude, Goo Goo Dolls.
100%. I was doing a social distanced hang, which is what we do now with our friends. And as Jan says, remember parties? Oh my God. The first one back where we can just let loose. I'm going to be nuts. But she was like, do you want to watch a movie? And then we just decided to watch music videos, which was, I felt like I was in high school again. But Goo Goo Dolls, that guy looked rough then.
I know, right?
I just thought those guys were so sexy, but it's like, I don't know, when you reframe it and you're just like, they looked like what?
Yeah.
Matchbox 20 I was into too. That's embarrassing stuff.
Oh, Matchbox Man. I
Sure,
mean,
Alice in Chains.
For me was Dave Matthews. I was so deep into Dave
I remember
Matthews.
that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Didn't he also do like that? He did like a Daft Punk style like video of that ran through like his entire album. Maybe I'm
I have
wrong.
no idea.
I'm probably wrong. I remember things very, very wrong.
Maybe.
It probably was Daft Punk, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
in his band, so.
So you're no longer a Dave Matthews fan? Like if they were to have a concert, would you go now?
No, not at all. I don't think I could even stand the music. I think it's one of those things like, you know, when you hear music, you know, when you're a kid and your parents play that one album over and over and you're like, I can't listen to this anymore. I think that's what I did to myself. I just listened. I over listened to it.
Yeah.
I tried it. The other week I went back and threw on a song and I was like, okay, let me try if I can do Dave Matthews. And I had to stop it like 10 seconds in and be like, no,
Really?
can't do it.
It is weird how some songs can it's like movies. It's like, I think it's like anything in art. It's like some things will make it through time, but other ones that pop off and they come like a firework. And then you're just like, I overdid it and I'm done. They don't stand up anymore, or they don't stand up for other reasons. Like
There's that, I remember, Jay, when I worked at HMV.
Whoa.
And that's when my musical horizons just expanded.
Really?
People were like, Dave Matthews, man. Listen to this cool thing or whatever.
I just feel like with music, like, you know, someone goes, you should watch this show, but there's like 12 seasons. It's like The Sopranos. I'm like, do I have time to just
I know.
go back?
I can't go back.
And sometimes I feel like with music, I'm so many seasons behind. I'm like, how the hell do you catch up? Like, what the hell's good? I don't know.
I don't know. Because we don't have the radio anymore to listen to. We don't have like Tarzan Dan telling us what the greatest hits are anymore.
Him on a plastic couch. No, not at all.
Yeah.
I kind of loved that when they were like, this is a great song.
It probably does exist. We're just not teenagers anymore. You guys
I know
that, right?
What?
That's it.
No, disagree. I think Chris.
You don't think that there's like a pop list somewhere that's like, this is the newest song?
I was going to say, for me, Chris is one of those people that's just like forever, just like youthful and young and like cool. I think we all would agree
otherwise.
that.
I never thought otherwise.
Chris Wilson?
No, Chris Siddiqui. Chris Wilson is
okay,
like,
good.
no, he's.
I was going to say Chris Wilson. That dude is forever 14.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he is the guy that's like, hey, do you want to throw rocks in this river and then jump off the bridge? And he's like, all right, I guess we're all doing that.
Yeah, you go by Forever 21 and then you see Forever 14. It's just a bunch of mannequins with denim jeans going.
Hey, what's up, dude? What's up? We're going to live forever.
That's awesome.
I still think about, I don't know if you remember this, but Siddiqi is also an incredible singer, and you would play improv karaoke, which is still one of my favorite shows in the entire city.
So
but
great.
you were doing a song, and it was blowing everyone's mind, and then you made it seem like maybe the song was coming to an end. And then you did something that, to me, was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen, where all of a sudden you just went... And I walked up to be like, Chris, everyone. And you're like, sorry, Stacey. And then you're just like, ah, and you screamed and the band just started playing and then the lights went crazy. Do you remember that song? I was trying
Not at all.
You don't? I knew
wish
it.
I did.
I had a feeling because I was talking about it with Jordan, who is the band leader for that show. And I was like, do you remember when Chris like did that and the song seemed like it was coming to an end and then Chris kicked in the air and then the band kicked in? She goes, I think about it like every week. I go, me too.
If it's improv karaoke though, this also isn't that long ago.
No, it was recent and it was literally the coolest thing
Yeah.
ever that I've
But
ever
also, if it was improv karaoke, I was probably extremely high. Is that show supposed to start at like 9:30, but we really start at like 11?
Oh, always. Always 11. I don't even know how you would operate. I mean, I can't smoke weed and do cool shit like that. I smoke weed and go like, how does money work? I don't know.
That's one of those things that I realized when I was young. I was like, oh, I can do two things at once with this.
Let's be real though too. Siddiqui's kind of like the Seth Rogen of bit players. Like,
Yeah.
That scene where you come into the audition and lose your mind
is my favorite.
It's my
part of that show.
favorite scene.
Oh, thanks. That was we filmed that whole part of the show or filming. For some reason, our producer Ferguson was like, "Yo, let's make this an overnight shoot."
No.
And after he was like, "Why did I even think to make that an overnight shoot?"
Yeah.
But that I did maybe 4 or 5 of me just screaming in that fucking audition room.
Was this near the end? Like, is this like you're gone a bit delusional a bit at this point?
100%. This was at like
Perfect.
4 a.m. or something.
Well, then I think he did it right. He got into a place where it's like, this is going to be nuts. It was one of those scenes when you watch it, when you watch a scene, like, even when it's your friend or you just see a great comedic like scene and you're like, I'm jealous that I didn't get to do that scene.
Yeah.
So fun. And you did, but like, you obviously do it better, but like, it was just one of those things that I'm like, this is the funnest thing on the planet.
Well, I mean, I think that came out of all of we know the frustration. Stacey, you were just talking about it before. All of our frustrations of going into an audition room and having to do this or that or be nice or do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things where it's just like, fuck it, man. This is a fake audition, or you've always wanted to do bullshit. So let me just do bullshit.
It was so. I remember seeing it at the premiere of Bit Playas, and I sat forward like a child. I was like, he improvised that whole thing. We know this. You couldn't write this.
We've mentioned Bit Playas a lot on this podcast, but if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't watched it yet,
you have to watch Bit Playas.
It's a fail. We've failed a little bit today because it is Friday. And what are we drinking?
Oh,
Yeah, what do you got? I got an MP Americano. Sorry,
I
guys.
also have a coffee. Do you know what it is? I have no like.
I'm week 1 of Jason Ross. Here's my.
What is that?
It's well, okay. So one, here's news for Stace because I think you said you wanted to try this, but I started with a bit of this.
Nice.
Okay, limoncello, which I'm hearing is good.
Liqueur, and then vodka. And then for some reason, I was like, well, this is nice, but then it doesn't look pretty for the thing. So I'll try some maraschino cherries in it. Way to wreck a drink is all I'm saying.
And that is called the Duras. Just keep that drink going. We try and have a beverage on Fridays, but sometimes I don't want to go and get things. And I have beer in my fridge, but I was like, I'm just going to crack a beer. Like, what am I going to
Yeah, beer at noon. That's tough, man. Especially Jay. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning for you.
Hey man, if you've seen Barbara of Somerville, it comes from drinking it. Ferg can take you to a certain place in auditions by keeping you up to 4 a.m. I get up and I start drinking at 9 a.m. and that'll get me to where I need to be. By the way, also huge shout out because someone just jumped in the chat.
Oh.
It might be the other Bit Playa is in the chat.
We got Nigel in the chat. I will say, so Baker would come on and he would give us like cocktail recipes. And so we would make them. And I was like,
He would
okay.
challenge us.
He would challenge us and go, hey, this is like for the Friday show. Like, we'll make this cocktail. And Jason would just get for sure drunk. We would just watch him go and just be so free and light. And the comment section would light up. We've never seen him like this. Who is this? And we were like, this is Jason.
Welcome to my actual life. Not my 9 a.m. sober self.
This is something that people might not know, but for a while, almost every birthday, Jason would get so loaded, stripped down, and just have people draw on him.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious. Andrada brought up the same thing.
Okay, good. Because I was like, well, this happened one year, and it was so fun for everybody else that we were like, we should continue this. So then it just became a regular on Jay's birthday every year that we just draw on his naked body.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. And that was like, this wasn't at a house. This was in the middle of a bar.
Oh, I remember going to a birthday and not knowing the tradition and walked into the green room and I saw you sitting there covered in marker, no shirt on, just in your boxers. And I was like, what happened to you? You're like, it's okay. It's okay. This is what happens. And I was like,
I don't remember who brought the markers. It was probably Andrada for the first one.
Probably.
It was him or Meg Fraser, one or the other. And yeah.
well, we talked.
Here's the thing with Jay, when he's drunk, he's just more of himself.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I love it.
He's not loud. He's not an asshole. He's just more, he's more of a sweeter guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. but
a sweeter guy that'll have no problem dancing on a bar.
Oh, no. But you're easy to convince. Like if we're like, hey, get up on that bar, get your shirt off. And you're like, just wait for my wife's sister to leave. And then she did. And you were like,
this was like shortly after Charlie. So I was in a newer, different mind state at that time too. And we had Jenny's family come up to visit. So they came out to the comedy bar and Stacey came up. She's like, get on the bar and dance naked or something. And
I didn't say that. That wasn't me. I just supported. I was like, yeah.
Okay, you supported it, but I think it was someone wanted me to like take a nut out or something. And I'm like, Jenny's sister's here. You know, I can't do that right now.
Just wait.
Wait for the even both will come out. Man.
Like, I never really did that, but like, yeah. But then I was like, great. I guess I'm getting on this bar.
Well, we were talking about because we've all worked at Second City, and we were just talking about
shows with actual Mr. Casual Friday.
Yes,
Rob
you
Baker.
did. Yes,
that's right.
But we were talking about like the hanging out and how Jason would be like, guys, I'm leaving. I don't feel well. I got to go after the show. And then some of us would hang out and he'd be like, you guys hanging out? And it's like, there's always tomorrow. But Jason would be like, all right, I'm staying. We're like, you're sick. Get out of here. But he could never leave a party.
We do this show every night, man. We can hang out whenever.
My FOMO was real. Like before FOMO was a term, I was like, I kind of knew what it was already. I was like, yeah, I can't not be there.
Do you still have FOMO? Chris, do you have FOMO?
I don't know. I think, it's past as the older I get, because I think also the more cynical I get, where I'm just like, fuck it, who cares? Like,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Whereas when I was young, I was like, why didn't you tell me? I could have been there.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm just like, I think it was around when I started Second City, because that's when Aurora and I started seeing each other. And I was also like, I got this hot lady at home. I'm taking off to go chill out with her and get high with her.
What a dream.
I think
that's
I think
nice.
it comes from like, when you're in, I don't know, like 8th grade or like just starting high school.
Yeah.
But like you miss a weekend is a lifetime. And you're like, you come back and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
No, Jason, you guys don't remember me? I last week I did it. Okay. And then you realize you missed the whole thing.
Right.
But that didn't wear off for me until like my 30s. And then what happened was, I remember one time I was like, I'm going to make the conscious decision to leave. And then I realized I didn't really miss anything.
No, you don't.
Like, oh.
No, you don't, man.
You don't.
But it took me like a long time to be like, oh, I didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
And when they said you got to be there, I'm like, not really.
What is the fear? What do we fear of missing out? That's what I'm curious. You know what I mean? Like,
I know I don't
is
know.
Is it the social building? Is it the connect? Is it, maybe I think sometimes too, it's like, oh man, I missed out. I could have met someone who could have put me in a movie or something. You know what I mean? Like that's where my mind goes to. Is like, oh man, fucking Ridley Scott could have been. I don't know, but
except then look back at all the people we know that are trying to make movies and things. It's like it's never happened to any of them. They've never just hung out one night and been like, great, now guys, I'm sorry, I made a Ridley Scott movie. I gotta go.
And Haley's 100%. Right. You just spend more money because you either buy more drinks or you buy like food at the end but it's like, I sometimes look around and I've been up to like 4 a.m. I'm looking around going, what are I doing? What was the point of this? Now it's the witching hour now, I
was thinking too, the other thing for me is that I don't drink that much. I'm not a heavy drinker.
Yeah. So then it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll dip outside and have dubs with friends, or go like, okay, I'm gonna go home and get high and play video games.
That just sounds nice.
It's so crazy that forever alcohol's been accessible and legal and weed has not been, because like the people I know that are like that smoke weed, it's like they're just healthier all around in so many different ways. Alcohol murders you in all these different ways.
Yeah,
and weed does not. Weed makes you go home early. You don't drive high, and when you don't like, sure, you get the munchies, but your metabolism's up and everything. Like when you get drunk, the next day's messed up. You get fatter so much quicker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like,
man.
How many fat like stoners, potheads do you know? And it's like, not also, many.
How many times have you heard this? Like, my dad got really high and beat the shit out of me. Man. It's like my dad got really high and played fucking Pink Floyd for me all night.
Oh my God, that's my dad. Just in the basement, high, high, just listening to records.
Yeah.
I always thought he was always sad, like he needed friends. But then I realized now as an adult, he was just having a couple brews and high, listening to records, and didn't want anyone to bother him. Like he actually had it figured out.
Really sad. That's all I know. He was so happy.
I know.
Like, leave me alone, man.
He would get high, pick us up from school, and go, I cleaned all your rooms. Like all your chores are done. I think he would just come home from work, get high, do all the chores, and he'd be like, go away. Do not get in trouble. And come after dinner. Just then go to your room. We were like, sick, all right. And we would just frolic.
Now,
yeah.
Did you smoke when you were young, Stace? Like,
no.
Did that have an effect on you?
No, I never did. And I think it's because they smoke cigarettes. So I just didn't like smoking at all. But then I went tree planting, and then I was like, this is a joyous invention.
That's such a young white woman's adventure of like, let's go tree planting. I've discovered weed.
No, but honestly, when I was like, I'm going tree planting, my parents were like, excuse me? Because I was just like, the first day there at tree planting, I was like, where's the bathroom? And they're like, do you see your shovel? And I was like, pardon moi? Pardon moi? But
by the end, she's like...
By the end, she's like...
But I remember getting high with our friend, lovely friend Anessa, when I was working at Second City, and I was smoking with her, and I made the mistake of really going toe to toe, and got so high that we come back into the room and everyone's sitting, but more people have joined. Our friends, not strangers, people I know. And I was just like, I'm freaking out. And then I was trying to be cool because I was like the understudy and you were all so cool. And I was like, And everyone's like, we're going to go party, come. And I was like, I have to go home. And had to navigate. They gave me a cab chit.
3 hours later on the sidewalk looking at a cab chit.
Oh, I think I threw money at the poor cab driver. I was like, I don't know what this is. Like, I've never been so high in my life. So I have to pump the brakes. I can't get because then I lose my mind.
That's very funny because Anessa and I would meet up before we go do the show and have a doob and then go down and do the show.
That's the
insane.
best. That's the best.
It was great. Anessa and I were like, it was perfect we found each other because we were both the two most functioning stoners at the theater.
Yeah.
So
in Toronto.
in Toronto. And we would just meet up before. It was great. Have a nice chat with a bud on Trinity Bellwoods and then bike to the theater and do the show. It was great, man.
Oh, that's nice. I got to start doing that more. I started, I just discovered weed soda water, which is quite the time. Yeah, I got it off the internet, the cannabis, whatever. But Seth Rogen has this company called Houseplant, and I love it because for babies like me, it's like 2.5 or so. You get higher doses, but you can also get like, and they just taste like soda water. And then you're just kind of sitting back watching TV, going like, "Whoa!"
You're watching TV. Going back to your tree planting days. Oh, you guys want to see my homemade tattoo?
Yo, you want to listen to some Dave Matthews Under the Table and Dreaming?
Listen, I've never felt more of a white woman than sipping on my grapefruit low-dose weed soda water, okay? Make no mistake. Make no mistake. Posting,
pumping Fiona Apple in the background.
Kayla, it's both. Or you
retweeting defund the police, like just being like, yes, please. But yeah, absolutely. But I highly recommend Houseplant. I mean, I don't know. It's quite the time.
Do you know what I was going to say? I'm not much of a drinker, but I had one of these White Claws the other day. Have you guys had those?
Oh, yeah. Those
High Noon is better.
Killer.
Those are killer. What's High Noon?
White Claw is like a trope now. For people to just like, oh, White Claw drinkers. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'll
tell you this. We're drinking High Noon down here now. And High Noon is, you know how like White Claw's cool flavors and it's a really easy thing to drink? High Noon's even tastes more natural. It tastes like you're drinking like the fruit. It's like, oh, I'm just drinking grapefruit.
Oh, okay.
Soda water. It's really nice.
I like the White Claw mango, but I've never found any other flavor I enjoy. But I don't know.
Me and Andrada and Nigel were hanging out the other day, and we're having a bunch of White Claws, but we had like a mango and a pomegranate or something, and they just tasted like fizzy water. They didn't actually taste like mango or anything. I was like, oh, okay, this is doable.
Sweet. I'm going to try some of those with my weed.
See if you guys can get High Noon there. I swear on it.
And Kayla is asking, so the soda water I had was sativa. It was sativa, although it just really made me quite relaxed.
You can get both, and you can get hybrid as well.
Oh, you've already looked in?
I believe maybe you can't get a hybrid. I don't know.
I don't know.
Kayla Swan?
She's a
Black Cherry is my favorite.
Did you say who is Kayla?
Yeah.
She's
ripping it up in the chat.
I know. She's just one of our like day one like chatterinos. She's the best.
Kayla Swan.
I know.
Shout out to you, Kayla Swan.
I know.
And you got some James Graham in there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's our Wikipedia master. He knows everything.
If we're ever incorrect on a movie, he's the first to be like, excuse me. And we're like, oh.
And I'm always incorrect on movies because I haven't seen them.
Have you seen, we've been talking about Palm Springs. Have you seen that yet, Chris? With Andy Samberg?
Oh,
you got to get in.
You'll
it's
like
so
it.
good.
You'll like it, Chris. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, but.
Who made it? Who's in it?
Andy Samberg, and I think like his production company, but Christina Milioti, I believe, is in, and it's really good, and it's only an hour and a half, which is a big selling point because that's all long. Movies don't need to be 3 hours, but that's a good time. That's a good time enjoyer too.
J.K. Simmons is in it. He kind of kills that a little bit.
Oh, wicked! I love that dude.
And,
isn't it crazy? Yeah. He's so ripped. He's so ripped.
Maybe he's been doing Chloe Ting now for like a couple months.
No. This guy is like ripped. Like you're joking, but like Jason, you haven't seen the photos. It's wild.
I don't know if I want to. I don't want to see old. Like he looks like a grandpa. I don't want to see ripped grandpa.
It's kind of hot though, man. Rip
It is.
Grandpa.
I will say Kevin
yeah.
Bacon of all people was kind of one of my inspirations because I saw a picture of him like surfing and I'm like, but you're like 50 something and this guy's got
What's
like
wrong with
an
that?
8-pack.
That's great.
I said it was inspiring.
Can you imagine?
You know what I heard? The
What?
big. This is what I've someone summed it up for me about losing weight. It's the kitchen is your hammer and the workout is your chisel.
Whoa.
So in the kitchen, you got to do that. That's where the big work comes in.
It's
That's where
true.
the smashy comes in.
They say like 80% of weight loss comes from, or 80 and 90. It's like you can work it all you want, but if you're eating like crazy and you're big already,
I just
and
love
everyone
to
goes,
eat.
what about Michael Phelps? And I'm like, Michael Phelps was an Olympic swimmer that burned 6,000 calories a minute in a pool.
I will.
Also, that dude was high on drugs and had cancer. Like, come on.
Isn't it crazy? He
Was
got in trouble
Or are you
for.
talking about Lance Armstrong?
That's Lance Armstrong.
Oh yeah, Lance Armstrong. Sorry, yeah.
Wait, okay, and not even like I need to watch that Lance Armstrong documentary because here's the thing.
It couldn't have been that good because
We're
Last
not
Dance
thinking
got
what?
Last Dance got so much hype, and then that one came out right after, and it really didn't get any. So I'm assuming it wasn't that good. Zero hype.
I think it's crazy that we as a society have to be shocked that these like high intensity athletes aren't doing a little something something. They are changing their blood with new blood, and I'm not shocked.
It was back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, SNL did a quick sketch on it, and they were just like, "Here's the Olympics where we completely allowed drugs." And the first guy goes to live. He's like, the Russian guy comes up to lift a weight, and he just jumps up, and his arms rip right off, and blood starts pouring.
Dude, that was Phil Hartman.
Oh yeah.
His things off and his arms just pop off, and then Kevin Nealon comes in as his trainer and just dabs the wound. It's still spurting blood. He's just That's one of the most memorable scenes I've ever seen. I love that.
That's a golden age of SNL too.
Totally.
But like we're shocked, like Lance Armstrong, and I'm not saying I don't know enough information, but the fact that like his charity was like, we have to get rid of you, but all of the cyclists are doing it. I don't know. Am I wrong? Is this a wrong take?
You're right.
I feel like if all cyclists was doing it, wouldn't they know? Wouldn't they know because you won the Tour de France 19 times in a row? Like,
Yeah.
Tip off. When this guy wins it the 5th time, you got to be like, no.
Can we check your blood? We think we've got young blood in your old blood. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's wild. And like Michael Phelps, like the controversy that he smoked weed, I was like, who cares?
That was Russ Ribliotti.
And Michael Phelps.
Well?
And Michael Phelps,
wow.
yeah. And like, who cares about weed?
Oh, yeah, I remember Ross with
the whole,
body.
yeah, but this is the whole thing. It's like alcohol versus whatever. They're like, oh, you can get drunk. That's not a performance enhancing thing. But like, you smoke weed, and then that's going to make you go faster.
But
I'm sorry, the weed is the least performance enhancing thing in the world.
have you ever tried to swim while you're high and you just like all you do is spin in the water?
This is what it was like in the fetus.
In the fetus, in the womb.
This is in the fetus, yeah.
I miss those highs. Now my highs are just like, all right, yeah, keep going. I got work to do. I miss those highs where I'm like, oh, the water, man. I want that back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got to
it's
work on my
nice.
sarcasm. I don't think I got it to Shayla, but I got to work on that.
Oh, weed isn't gonna make you faster. Oh hell no. But I
Or
watched.
she's just agreeing.
I watched a thing on Ross Ribliotti on Vice. They did this kind of like mini docu. It's really small. I think it's like a 30-minute thing where he talks about healing himself with weed because when he hurt his knee, they wanted to just fill him with all these pills and like OxyContin and stuff like that. And he was like, no, I want to feel my pain. I want to be able to manage what I'm doing, like rehabilitating it. And he's like back to like 100%. Well, he said in the thing.
I read recently that weed is a good deterrent for COVID-19.
Really?
Yep.
Are you just putting that out there? Is this like a Fauci fact?
And we all
I
leave.
I said it earlier today.
Yeah, we all leave
I
frame.
was looking in the mirror and I was like, he's really going to help my COVID.
I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I don't feel anything.
I'm gonna live forever.
Where's that store, Forever 14?
Chris Wilson's like, let me show you. It's so cool over here, dude.
I was like, come on, I own it now.
There are no rules. We can have chips whenever we want.
Oh, we're getting an update from Claire. She said Icarus was nuts, and that's that's a documentary on. I don't think that's Lance Armstrong. That's like a Russian.
Well, Jameson said it goes from cycling drug use to deep state Russian spies and death threats.
I was wrong.
Yeah, Icarus was that one where that guy wanted to do the drug routine that Lance Armstrong did.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
And so he got in touch with that. Am I right, James Crane? I think so. Is that he got in touch with a Russian trainer who like did that for athletes.
Really?
So he just wanted to be like, I want to try that. Yeah.
So it's a thing of a regime. Like Stacey's right. Like everybody does it. It's like in baseball, everyone's really mad about the Houston Astros because they stole, and they're like, oh, did their championship really happen or whatever? But I'm like, I also heard rumblings like every team sort of does it. They kind of all try to steal signals. And it's like, well, if they're doing that, then like, why are we? And maybe I'm wrong. I don't follow baseball that much. But it's kind of weird whenever you hear about these people getting busted, like for steroids, you're like, you are all doing it. So why are you all yelling and screaming at the media that this guy needs to be out of there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's just like the weird public outcry about the whole thing. It's like I watched Athlete A, which is just such a sad documentary, and it's just like women just like not being taken care of. But one of the things that was frustrating was everyone was like, "Can you believe how these gymnasts are treated?" And I was like, "Are you nuts?" I'm like, I've never looked at an Olympic gymnast and been like, "She's okay." I was like, her life probably stinks. They're mean.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
what?
Child stars, right? Everyone talks about child stars.
Upper body is super fit.
Yeah.
Their legs are like toothpicks.
Yeah, something's up. Yeah.
Their BMI is like -6.
BMI? Oh, it's what body mass index.
Yeah.
But that's what they judge it on, right? Like how much fat you got or whatever.
Do you ever like join a gym and then you have to do that personal training day just so you can start using the gym where they try and sell you on personal training and they take your BMI and stuff? Do you ever do that? No.
I'm too scared of personal trainers at gyms.
I can't.
I go to a personal trainer, an old friend of mine named MJ, and she is the fucking best.
Really?
Yeah. And it's just her and I, and it's because it's old friends, but I'm too self-conscious to sit with a Devin and be like, all right, man, how many squats can you do? Good. This is called the lats. This works your quads and your bods and blah, blah, blah. I can't.
No, and I also I struggle to fill the space because I'm not good with silence. So, I mean, I did personal training sessions with our friend Jillian Bartolucci, who's incredible. But I would be so winded and I'd be like, don't look at me. Please don't look at me. Like, what do you talk about while you're getting personally trained? I would feel like
my last one, I had to walk out because I was like, the only reason I went there, I just came out of physio and they're like, here's the 3 things you can't do because your back, you just popped a disc out. And I told them that. And then the very first exercise, he's like, do this and twist this. I was like, that's the one thing I just told you that I can't do. He's like, okay, try this. And I was like, okay, I got to go. You have a stock bunch of exercises that you give people and you're like, that's all you're running through. And I'm like,
totally,
you're going to break my back.
Although that's classic Duras.
We're teaching improv. We're like, have we done ABC yet? Yeah, okay, let's do it again. Come on. There's more we can learn with number of words. Let's go.
I just remember teaching kids improv and you can just make up games, which I always just preferred. But I remember running out of games and we had extra time. And I just made up a game called Very Cool, where people just talked about what they did that week. And we just had to go. It would be like, so I had a sleepover with my cousin and it was so fun. And we'd all have to go, very cool. And then just run and then freeze. And then someone else had to say what was cool that happened in their day.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Didn't it feel good to be supported? So when we make choices and we tell stories, we want to be supported in those choices.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can I tell you? I still do that exercise because everyone feels like everything they did was very cool, because some kids would be like, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And everyone's very good.
And then that kid gets to leave going, you got it right. That's cool. Yes.
Yeah. The next time he's eating a peanut butter sandwich, he's walking around like this.
You're going across the road like,
Yeah. Created
that leather jacket's cool. Check this out.
whoa.
So cool.
Yeah, then the guy in leather jacket. So cool.
I just imagine those kids in the car being like, so what'd you do in improv class today? Well, we talked about what we did and then we screamed and ran.
And the parents are like, what the fuck did we do?
Yeah, that was when I was teaching in Second City, LA, and there was just nothing more fun to me than the graduation day where actual famous people came and I had to wear a camp shirt while in LA trying to make it.
Because you were doing like the teen camps or whatever, so their parents or famous parents would come out.
Why? Who was the most famous? Who were some famous parents that came out?
Well, there was a lot of like big radio people, but there was one girl who said her Aunt Mindy was gonna come, so Mindy Kaling, and I had to just like take a long bathroom break. I was just like, I have a fucking camp shirt. I'm never gonna be on TV. And just like casting people and just like they're all in these camps. And there was one kid that was like on Fuller House, and he was so sweet and wonderful. But I was just like, these kids make more money than I've ever made in my life.
Dude, that's the one thing I remember watching all these kids get commercials and TV shows, and I'm like, I taught that kid. I can't get in a commercial, and this friggin' kid is starring in Odd Squad or something.
Totally.
Also, like I won't bring that up, but like Odd Squad, I will. Odd Squad's like the best show for kids.
Well, yeah.
It's so fun.
I didn't realize how good it was until now I've got Charlie watching it, because it's also so fun to see like every Canadian comedians in this.
Has he seen my 2-episode arc?
You had 2-episode arc? We have not seen it yet.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you.
But it's like there's some solid jokes in this show too, like for adults. There's some really good stuff.
Yeah. It really felt like, how it felt like like a kid's version of X-Files, but was also just that we could watch as well.
That's so true. Yeah. I've never even thought of it as like the X-Files. Anyways, I had to work.
You know what I mean? Because they have a home base. They're going out. They're trying to solve different things.
No, totally.
Any parents out there, get on Odd Squad. It's actually really, really, really.
But I mean,
it's on Amazon Prime in the States.
I will bring up Bit Playas and not to bring it up again. But you guys got to do some fun stuff on that show. Like that one D&D episode is magical, and it's so cool to look at. Like there's so many.
I don't know if Nigel's told you about our want to do a D&D episode of this podcast.
Yeah. Well, you have a podcast. Is that up and going to talk about?
Well, that is coming out. We haven't. I think it's going to come out sometime in September.
That's exciting.
That was the. This was something that our dearest friend Jay McCarroll.
Yeah.
He was like, because we're big nerds together, and he started playing with one of his friends, and he was like, I feel like Siddiqi should be in on this.
Yes.
And he got in touch with me, and I was like, yeah, dude, I love this. And so we started one D&D game, but that wasn't enough for us, so we started another D&D game. And it was me, Jay, and our friend Tom, Jay's old friend Tom.
Right.
Not old like he's an old man, but he's an older friend. And we just started recording this play sessions.
So fun.
And then we turned it into a whole. Now it's like Jay has written original music for every episode. I'm throwing sound effects underneath every episode, so it sounds like a radio drama now. It's coming out sometime in September.
I am so excited for it because, first of all, you're all so incredibly talented. Jay McCarroll is an incredible musician, but and also having just gotten into D&D myself, it's so amazing. It's so fun.
I know, right?
Why don't people talk about this more? It's such a fun game.
This game is made for us, man.
I know.
We just get lost in bits and characters anyway.
Yeah.
But there were moments in this podcast. I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to listen to the whole thing, but there are moments where our characters have like these long personal monologues. We really hit the role playing in RPG in this one.
See, that's exciting.
I don't know if you listened to our Potato Dave episode, but like we're the same. We're the same.
So I asked Jason. So Nigel was on, and it was with Jason and I, and we asked what everyone's names would be, and Jason named himself Potato Dave.
He was Sharon.
Yeah.
And Nigel went with Black Ron, RAWN. And I was Sharon because I was playing. What do you call, like, is it a game? Like, what is like a series? What do you call like one adventure?
I'd be like a campaign.
Yeah, so the campaign I was Sharon, but I didn't really have any skills. I was just like a solid woman with no skills, just brute strength. But I couldn't, there was no like refinement to my strength. So I would just like run into people and usually hurt myself.
Oh my God.
But Sharon.
Well, there's that big plan. We had this big plan to run a big D&D game, and then we still have to get back to that stage.
We got to do it. Oh, yeah. I think it'd be so fun because I just like, I really feel like more people have to play D&D. It's so good. It's so good.
So good. It's like therapy in a weird way, but it's
so
fun.
And you work out
especially when you're playing with friends, when you can just fuck around and.
Oh, and when they fuck you over, and then you have to navigate that and still stay in the bit, and you're like, what?
Yeah. So fun. D&D is getting like this huge resurgence.
It is.
People. I think it's also, you know, we're of the age where we grew up with sitting around with our friends playing board games and shit. And I think it's getting a big resurgence nowadays because we're all old now and we're like, we want the olden days back. But this is like the perfect game for that.
But I also love it because there's no like dice. There's like, I struggle with a board game. I don't know why. No, but like, I mean, like, but it's, you decide the structure of that campaign. Like there's no like, well, you did 3 steps forward, so now we have to pull the, like, I can't get into a complicated board game. I struggle. Yeah. But D&D, it's like whatever you want. Like if you kind of whatever you want, and then everyone has to justify it, and you have to and I love that. That's so fun.
You're not a fan of like the Catans of the world and stuff.
Because well, I want to like Settlers of Catan, but when you play with people who know, you can't be bad. I'm okay to lose a few rounds to learn. Yeah. But if like everyone's like, you're wasting your weight. I'm like, you know what? Who cares though?
I remember playing Catan with Paloma and Kevin. And I always felt bad because they knew it so much, but I was like, I want to play, but I barely know it. So it always felt like they were like, all right, we'll let you play. It was like a little kid who always wanted to play. Like, okay, this means this, and you got to do this.
Yeah. But D&D is like, here's your character, here's your sheet. So if you have any questions, you can look at your sheet. And what do you want to do? You want to go try and get into the bar and like beat up the troll? Okay, let's see if you can.
Says love sitting around with friends and board games. It reminds me of the one time Chris and his lovely wife came by our spot and we played Things. Do you remember that when we went up north?
Yeah, that was great.
I have never had tears rolling down my face more in my life.
What's Things?
Just playing a board. Things is like it's a game where you play and you go, great, here's the category for this round. Things you would never say to your grandmother. And then everybody writes their answer on a sheet and you pass it in, and one person reads them out. So you're making up your own answers. It's like Cards Against Humanity, except you make up your own shit. So it's way better, especially for people that are like into this kind of stuff. Like we had like 8 or 9 improvisers up at this cottage game. Like
I would play Things. I would play that in a heartbeat. I'm already thinking of just like the absolute devastation that happened. What the walls heard at that cottage.
It was phenomenal. Also, we brought Sebastian up too when he was like
young,
like 1 or 2 years old,
or
3. I can't remember how old he was, but we put him to bed, and then it was just like 8 or 9 drunk adults laughing at like blood diarrhea. It was great. And
we had Alistair who always throws like a little hint. So it was just like he would try to make people say the word "who" all night and be like, "You're an owl. You're a fucking owl." And like that was the whole game. It doesn't sound like much, but for the rest of the weekend, you would try to make people say the word "who" for some reason, and then you're just like, "Oh, fuck that guy, that fucking owl."
There's nothing like.
Anyways, as I say it out loud, I'm like probably not interesting for most people, but I had tears in my eyes.
I love those games. I mean, I did get into telestrations, which is like drawing. So like someone gets like birdhouse and they write it down, then they pass it off to someone else, and someone has to draw that birdhouse, and then someone has to guess what that drawing is, write that down. So if I look at it and I go, oh, a school, then someone draws a school. So it's kind of like broken telephone with drawing. It's similar to, I think, maybe Things, but very funny. I love that
D&D
stuff.
is great. You're totally right. Everything is open. You can do anything. You see a rabbit. I want to go talk to that rabbit.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, roll for something. You're always doing anything you want.
And like,
it's talking to someone who doesn't know it very well. I only played it once in grade 8. the dungeon master has to know everything, but do they also have like a linear thing you have to get through that? Like you go talk to that rabbit, is that going to take you away from their path of
Yeah,
like?
but the campaign
you're
can
supposed
take
to get
for
Good.
yeah.
So it's just you have to. I know Stacey's already said this many times on the pod, not this episode, but the key is a great dungeon master.
Oh yes.
Definitely.
Sean Murray is for like I've been playing with Sean Murray, who is just a joy, just an incredibly amazing dungeon master. And Jay's yours, right?
Jay, yeah. When we first started, Jay was ours, and then Jay's friend Tom took over.
Cool.
And that was great. And now I'm dungeon mastering
Really?
for my friends. Yeah. And
Whoa.
it's the greatest, man, because you think of things. The great thing about a good dungeon master is that they have everything lined out, but then someone's like, okay, well, I want to go talk to that rabbit and then install a government in the rabbit population, and I want to be the mayor of Rabbit Town. And you're like, okay, you go to Rabbit Town. The good thing with the dungeon master is you just go, no, you can't do that. They go, okay, yeah, you go and do that. And it's like what Stacey said, it's just all about justifying. You just justify everything.
Yeah.
And we're so used to that already that there's almost nothing like if you got an improviser dungeon master and a bunch of improviser players, holy moly.
So fun.
Right, because you're not. I imagine a kid in grade 8 that has planned out a whole thing is like, the rabbit? You can't go talk to the rabbit. That's going to take you away from. No, you can't do that. And then you're just like, oh, well, this fucking.
No, guys, game over.
Anyways, that's why I never took off. You're just like, I mean, they did take off, but that's why you're like, fucking Ted's a nerd. Let's leave here.
This poor grade 8 kid, Jason. Let him grow. Let him fuck up the wheat. Let him learn. No, but I do really enjoy. We have to. Maybe we'll do like a Bit Playas Regulars crossover and do a big fat stack D&D game. You can dungeon master it. It would be so fun.
This is for Stace. Shayla said there is a Telestrations After Dark, and Shayla loves it.
Telestrations After Dark. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Ooh, I can't believe we're almost at the end of our whole chatterino. Chris, what a goddamn delight!
Really?
I know, we flew by. Oh, you just get to go back to your cool family.
Claire Yee said, I love the pod Dungeons and Daddies. Me too.
Really? Tell me, what is Dungeon and Daddies?
Okay, Dungeons and Daddies, that's great comedians and video game writers in LA.
Really?
And the whole premise is they start off in the real world and they're all dads or stepdads. And they get sucked into the Dungeons and Dragons world because their kids have been kidnapped.
Oh my God.
So it's great. I mean, Stace, you would love it just because of all the dads, all these dudes just being like these very,
I'll check it out.
Very real dads. It's great.
Oh, I'll listen to that. I love it so much. And I'm like, I think I'm at the point of quarantine where I need something narrative. Like I want to get like, just engrossed in something,
Yeah, dude.
Dungeon
Let's
and Daddies.
do it, man. We fell off of that, and I've been thinking about it. So let's get back into that. We'll start pre-planning it.
Yes. Oh my God, it would make my whole life. It'd be so fun. Oh, I already
the other thing too, what happened is that I got off Facebook, so I just can't message people anymore.
Let me tell you, I'm also doing it. It's the best. Oh,
guys, everybody in the chat, get the hell off Facebook.
Doesn't
I
it
took
feel
it off my phone
good?
a couple years ago,
But
I still go check it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a light. Like it's such a cesspool. I mean, the internet is amazing. You get your information and all that kind of stuff. But like, man, getting off Facebook was just a lift for me.
I know it. And did you totally delete it? Like your presence is gone?
No, because I'm nervous about the messenger aspect, but I think I should just get over it and just delete.
Yeah, man. That was one thing that I was thinking about, and now that it's gone, I'm like, whatever. People are now getting in touch with me over Instagram or whatever.
It's the same, right?
Yeah, but how are the people from your high school going to find you?
I know, right? How are people from your elementary school going to talk to you? Never.
So
right?
true.
That's the thing. The thing is, when it started, 10, 12 years ago, we were all like, oh my God, I got in touch with Peter John from grade 4. I never talked to Peter John.
Since grade 4.
That guy.
No.
Anyways, he's in prison and he's doing all right.
Peter John.
Right. He can still update his Facebook status for some reason, but
They can.
Still in jail is always his status.
It's so true. I can't bring myself to scroll anymore. It's just like, It's just
There
too
was a
much.
moment where I realized I wasn't even looking. I was just scrolling. I was watching the blur of text just in front of my eyes. I was going, what the fuck am I doing this for?
It's true. Jan says she's never had Facebook, which is true, and no one has ever had trouble finding me.
She's a beacon of light.
Jan has
That's
been
why.
a light in darkness with Facebook. She has
Oh, yeah.
never had it.
Yeah, we do not need it. It's bad. It's no. I mean, Instagram is now becoming that too, but it's stealing TikTok. The whole thing's happening.
Yeah. Are you guys on TikTok? Do you do TikToks?
I was trying, and let me tell you, there's nothing sadder than really trying and
not going anywhere with it.
And then you see the worst stuff that's not funny, just like popping off in a way that's giving people confidence that what they're doing is right. And that makes me, so I was like, I gotta pump the brakes.
Didn't Trump just sign an executive order that may be killing TikTok in the States?
He can't. He doesn't even know what it is.
Oh, he knows what it is because they fucked up his Tulsa thing.
I know, but he was doing an interview and he couldn't explain what it was.
Of course he can. He just knows that it's bad and they pissed him off. So he's like, executive order. I mean, again, not getting into politics.
Well, we can.
But like,
he's an idiot. Like, it's... Have you guys watched that Axios interview he did? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
You did?
If there's ever a thing that just keeps, if he just keeps digging himself deeper and deeper. I mean, look, we've been talking about this for the past 4 goddamn years because he's been, but it, this is one of the things that I've been realizing about this pandemic is like everything bad is happening at once. I read this tweet. Someone said, maybe 2020, we were supposed to have this.
Yeah.
You know how everyone was like, fuck 2020. It was like, maybe 2020 was supposed to happen. So all this terrible, terrible shit. Now, I always think of this as like, America is like this cyst. And Trump is like this lance who just came in and popped it. So now everybody has to deal with all this pus and blood and garbage.
Totally.
Because they've never dealt with it before. It's just been piling up and piling up. So we have to deal with this shit. All this stuff in Beirut. Now the governments are crumbling because they kept all this goddamn explosive crap.
Unbelievable.
Brazil is going through their own thing.
It's wild. And then the pandemic, you can't go anywhere. So it's almost like you have to sit and you have to take it in and you have to figure out how you sit with that and how you change moving forward. Like you have to sit in the discomfort. We're being forced to do that, which is like,
it's like
incredible, really.
You don't have your daily distractions. So it's kind of like,
exactly. I was just going to say, we don't have our distractions of going to work and watching whatever and seeing our friends. We have to watch this.
Now you guys all know how actors live.
Not much changed for our lives.
No. Still take
everything
it
turned into self-tapes instead.
That's but it is true and it's unbelievable. It's just like there's just so much like it's just unbelievable. Like Beirut is just, I mean,
it's terrible.
Oh my gosh. There was something floating around of like, have you seen that one video of the bride who's like posing?
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. Like it's terrifying. It's just anyways.
I'm gonna look that up after because I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's just a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of like videos going around, of course, because everyone's on social media of like when the explosion happened and like the consequences of that.
I will say this, like Aurora is she thinks it's like she can get really down and be glass half empty about this and what's going to change. But for some reason, I've always been pretty positive about the outcomes of things. So I'm like, I really hope that when we get out of this, there's a big change. There's a bit, I mean.
Oh no, you froze. Oh, no. You froze.
We almost made the whole podcast.
Oh, sorry, you just froze a little bit. Oh no, Chris. I hate that we're laughing at this.
Your internet connection's on. Oh, can you?
No, you froze. Yes,
you as soon as you started talking about real stuff, you went away.
No, but we were just. What were you? What were you saying about the positivity, like about looking forward to that?
Well, just again, Aurora. I watched myself freezing on YouTube. Okay, so Aurora's kind of glass is half empty. When she sees a lot of bad news, she can get really bogged down by the negativity. But I'm like, no, I think something good is going to come out of this because we're all in this weird new mentality.
Right.
And I think when we come out of it, there's going to be shit that we've we haven't dealt with before. I think this quarantine makes us deal with shit that we've never had to deal with before.
1,000%.
I think people are going to be more educated, and there's going to be stuff that's great on the other side of it. There's also going to be the backlash of the people that have to dig their heels in harder to fight for like the other side of things. So it's going to be, there's going to be something interesting on the other side of this, where the parity is going to be larger. And so there's going to be, I don't know.
But I think what's exciting is what you're saying, Chris. It's like the looking for the positivity, like looking for the conversations, looking to be like, okay, how can we all come together instead of like ripping each other apart, Yeah. But it's so true. I mean, I'm much like Aurora, and I really struggle sometimes to be like, oh my God, like, oh, what else how do we keep it together?
All right.
Every day is something new and a little more dark.
I know, but I guess you're right. It's like, look at it. It's like never before in our time have we literally been asked to stay at home.
Yeah.
And take it in. Yeah.
This is the great equalizer, this pandemic.
Oh my
God. It also blows my mind where people are like, Christopher Nolan really wants to put his movie Tenet out. And I'm like, bro, fuck you, Christopher Nolan. You really think people want to watch your one movie right now? No one gives a shit about your movie, dude.
Did it come out? Did it come out in a theater?
No. They were trying to push, okay, it's going to come out in July. Okay, Christopher Nolan's really sad that it can't come out in August. Dude, no one cares. No one wants to watch your movie, man.
But that's the exciting...
Just wait.
But the exciting thing I think that's also come out of this is the less interest in celebrity. And I feel like people are looking for independent creators now. Now more than ever, I don't want to listen to a celebrity podcast. I'm like, who the hell? Like, what's an interesting voice I don't know? Like, where? Like, I feel like no one really cares what Christopher Nolan or like
Dungeons and Daddies.
Hello. But I think people are using the internet to like, or I can say I am, to be like, what's like a web series, or what's a show I don't know about? Like, I don't want nor care, So
Snake King is lighting up the chat. We got to help him out too, because he's still having trouble finding that. So we'll find some.
What?
We'll put some out here. Some probably independent sort of artists creating their own stuff. Like that might be what he's talking about.
Well, let's start with Bit Playas and go from there.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
let me ask you guys this.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask.
No, ask.
Once we stopped doing people and creating all this stuff,
so
I realized, you know what? Like, do you guys have a lot of people asking you, like, what are you guys working on? Are you working on anything during this pandemic?
No.
Who am I talking to that's going to ask me that question?
Oh, well, Jenny, Charlie, I mean, come on.
Well, Charlie's like, what are you doing today, Dad?
Yeah,
So
Dad. Pick up the pace, Dad.
No one's really been asking. Are people?
I've had that question maybe once or twice, but I'm like, I'm not doing anything. You know what I'm doing? I'm intaking a bunch.
Yes.
I'm watching, like you said, Stace, I'm watching shows that I haven't before. I'm reading books that I've been putting off. I really. Oh shit! The phone's ringing.
It's okay. That's so nice to hear.
This is the Napster version. This is the LimeWire version.
Yeah, I love that. No, but it's true. It's like I think I hit a point where when this pandemic started, I'm like work. So I was just like, what are we doing? We got to do. And then I'm like, I kind of got to live. You got to live through it. You got to build opinions before you can talk about anything that's happened.
Big time.
I remember when this started, it was like, okay, cool. I'm going to start Chloe Ting, going to get masterclass, going to be such a better person on the other side of this. Going to learn guitar, no problem.
I know, right? Me too.
We're 6 months in and I have done none of that.
Yeah. I bought a ring fit and that was about, that's the highlight of my pandemic.
I think I might get a ring fit though.
Dude, highly recommend.
Oh yeah. I can't.
Not to take us off course though, but Stacey, you did start, according to your Instagram, you started another Chloe Ting challenge yesterday?
I did. I'm doing her intense core challenge. It's very, it's really hard. I'm quite sore today.
It's a 15-dayer?
Yeah.
Okay.
What day are you on now?
2.
But that's because you just ended the other one, which you did the
yeah
program. Because I'm going to start, I finished my 30-day yesterday, so I'm going to start another one tomorrow. And I don't know if I'm going to do the 35-day or do the 2-week one that you did last time.
Well, your journey's your journey.
Who's Chloe Ting? Should I be following?
Let me tell you.
It's just a free, but she got a bunch of programs that are free workout routines.
I found her on YouTube, and the only reason I was pushing it so much is like the results are wild, and a lot of the videos are people that didn't really change their diet. and it's these quick 25 to 40-minute workouts, free. She's so fun. I like her a lot. And, but yeah, I mean, they're really efficient because my thing is, it's like, I like working out so much, but when it's like an hour, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta do. So, but anyways, they've been really wild. So I've really gotten into them. Jameson did the shred. He showed us the before and afters. Wild.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, Stace, I highly recommend Ring Fit because, I've been just doing 20 to 25 minutes every day.
That's great. See, this is what I want. So I want a Ring Fit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do it. Chris, I'm going to put you up in a little promo situation where everyone can follow you. So the Siddiqs on Insta, Siddiqs on Twitter, and Bit Playas is something to watch. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about how much you guys are good friends, and I really missed you, and it's lovely to see your face.
Aww.
And I want to talk about just the state of comedy in Canada right now.
Please.
You know what? That's enough.
Oh, State of the Union address, please. Yes.
We should have you.
Union.
We'll have you
Okay,
come on and do it because I think it's time that we really talk about it.
Yeah, I really think that they should bring back Mr. D. I think Jerry D needs another show. I really think Canada should start finding more famous people in the 80s and get their children to start doing a bunch of different shows.
Just more shows from like the Victorian era and just more historical.
I'm starting the hashtag bring back Bullard. So
Great. And you know what? While we're at it, let's bring back Ron James because I was thinking, what Canada needs now is a grandfather who has his own sketch show. You know what I mean?
That was the first TV audition I ever got and booked, but I was doing a play. And I like up north, and I never got to do it. And my agent at the time was like, "You'll never work again. This doesn't look good," because I couldn't be on the Ron James.
Ron James is.
Yeah, and I was like, "I can't rent a car. I'm too young. I couldn't rent a car." But in truth,
you're fucked.
I was fucked. I've never worked again. They were right. Yeah. They were so right. You'll have to come back and we'll talk about the Canadian comedy industry. I actually would love to pick your brain on it.
Man,
let's talk so much that nobody will hire us ever again. Let's do that.
I know, right?
I mean, it wouldn't
for
for
we
me.
Just go on Facebook and put our thoughts there.
Yeah, we totally
you can't.
can.
You're off. You're done.
Oh yeah, shit.
But whatever you want to write, no matter how horrible, you can put it on my wall you can put it through me. I'll voice it for you.
You'll voice it. Well, everyone, follow Kris Siddiqi. He is truly a treasure. So freaking talented. We will definitely put up his podcast once it goes live. Well, you have to come back. Now that you've come on, now you're stuck. You're in the rotation.
Oh my God, please. I'm sick of my family and I want you guys.
Impossible. The coolest family I know. Your son is just maybe the coolest person in the planet, and truly Aurora is a vision. So, but follow Kris. Like we said, let me do it one more time, just so people know. This is where you follow him. Yeah, get all the follows. You're so funny, so smart. And
you guys do. I love you so much.
And the feeling is, it's just definitely the same. I love you. I don't even want this to end. It's so nice. I know.
Guys, let's go get some White Claws and we'll
no. Oh, soda weed water. But if you want to
get back to Canada,
you do. If you want to follow Kris, please watch Bit Playas. It's so amazing. They also have a bunch. The live stream's still up on Twitch because we can link those as well.
I believe so. Yeah, I think they're still up on Facebook as well. I don't know.
No, we're not getting on there. We're not showing you it. But check out Bit Playas for sure, and we will definitely have you back, Kris, because you're just the joy of joys.
I love you guys so much. Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Great. We will see you all on Monday. If you're listening to this, youtube.com/theregulars. You can watch this very fun episode and see the amazing outfits we brought today. And we will see you all on Monday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.